Hi guys, we're back with chapter 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our first InDesign layout. So the first one that I'm going to do is an A3 layout, or an A3 or A4, let me just think. A4 layout with that is a very, very small little zine. You can do exactly the same thing with an A3 page to make the 8 illustration zine. So what we're going to do first of all is create new. Okay, we want to go to print, and we're going to choose some preset, and I'm going to go to A4. I need to change the title here to A4 zine layout. Okay, and A4 zine 8 page. So 8 space layout. Okay, I needed to change the measurements on here because before they were in picas. So to change the units, we need to go to edit. Don't know whether it's going to allow me to do that at the moment. I'll just show this to you first and then I'll change it over. Okay, so we have selected our A4. We want it this orientation is fine too. We want to uncheck facing pages, and we can create another page once we get in there. We want to create no columns at the moment, and the gutter will be a little bit smaller. So we'll just make that 1 millimeter, maybe 2. Margins, we should create a margin which is a little bit smaller than this because we don't want 12 millimeter. That's, a whole centimeter. So let's take those right down to about 5 millimeters at the most, maybe 4, because we don't want a big borderline. Now we have a section around the edge of the page, which is called the slug. It's a section which is external to the page, and it allows you to put additional notes for the printer in. For the bleed, I think actually we will make the bleed a couple of millimeters past, 1 millimeter past the edge of the page, just one. And what the bleed does is that goes just past the edge of the page, and it allows for some printing imbalances. When the printer bounces or anything, it allows for the printer to not create a white space at the top of the page. So when it's finally trimmed, the printer will trim off that section of the print. Now, this isn't really going to affect you very much because we're not going to print this out, but this is how it works if you're having something published. So we don't need to create a slug in this case because we don't need a slug. We do need a bleed. And we need margins. So I'm actually going to even make those a little smaller. Okay, we've got A4 and we are going to press create. Okay, so this is my page. Here you can see the red line outside, that's the bleed, and this one on the inside is the margin. Okay. All right, so what we needed to do before was show you how to change the layout using edit. So if you go to edit and you go down to preferences, it's here. Now this may not be in the same place for you if you are on a Mac. If you're on a Mac, it may be in the actual InDesign here, and it will have a preference in there. So you might just have to search up where the preferences is, and then you go to units and increments. So once you press that, you can change it. So you can see here that you have picas initially. You'll probably have picas or picas on yours. Americans use inches, centimeters, and so on and so on. But we're using such a small piece of paper, millimeters is the appropriate measurement to use. So we're just going to go okay, and that keeps that here. You need to make sure that you have unchecked facing pages. Okay, so we're working on one page first of all. I also would like to create a second page. Oh, and the other thing that we need to do always when we come to something that is in Adobe is we need to go to Window, we need to go to Workspace, we need to go make sure that Essentials is checked. We need to go back to Window, Workspace, Essentials, and reset Essentials so that everything is always in the correct place. So when we want to see this, we can actually do that. Now, in order to add another page, we have to click on the tab here that says Pages. So at the moment we're on Properties, and we've just created this front page here. Now, if we had facing pages, it would be like the layout of a book. So it would have the next page would have a second page connected to it. So it would be like 2 A4 pages. So we don't want that. We want just the front page, and we want to print the back of that page. So we need to add our second page. So just create a new page. So we have a new page underneath. We want to work on the first page, which is our one that we're going to change. Okay, and what we're going to do with this page at the moment is we are going to do a little trick with our keyboard and to create keyboard and our arrow keys to create a few different frames. So the first thing we need to do is we need to select the rectangle frame tool. So we just click on the little arrow here, and we'll see we've got the rectangle frame tool, we've got an ellipse frame tool, and a polygonal frame tool. So we've selected that one. Now I need you to, right from the margin corner, I need you to pull out that rectangular frame. Oh dear, I can't pull it out all the way because it's going past the screen. Oh, that's better. Now, don't let your mouse go. Okay, so do not unclick your mouse. Keep your mouse clicked. Okay, press the up arrow key and it will divide the page in half. Okay, press the right arrow key and it will divide the page into quarters. Okay, press the right arrow key again, and we don't want that, so we want to undo that. One moment, go to the left arrow key. Yeah, so you go to the left arrow key to undo that. We want to press the up arrow key again and one more time, and we have our 8 spaces for our 8 illustrations, and this is the one where we are going to cut in the middle. Now you can let go of your mouse button, and you have 8 spaces to place your layout in. Okay, so on the second page, you may want to just have one big illustration, or you may want to have 2 illustrations. So again, the same thing applies. You're going to put your layout in here, and because in this particular design, the cut is down through the middle, you may want to have some text on the other side, or you may just want to have a plain color. But the way that the page actually prints, you don't actually see this side. So in fact, in order to print the little zine that folds up, you only need to have the one page. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to delete that second page. Undo, add new item. Nope. Delete. Oh, yes. Sorry. Cancel. And just delete. That's it. Go down to the rubbish bin at the bottom, and you have deleted that second page. But unfortunately, that deleted my layout. So I'm just going to do it again, show you again how to do it. Okay, so we're going to pick the rectangle tool, Okay, pick the rectangle tool. Rectangle tool. Okay, here is a rectangle frame tool. Click the mouse to drag it out all the way down to the bottom of the page, to the bottom corner of the margin, not the bleed, the margin. And without unclicking your mouse key, you're going to press up arrow, up arrow, up arrow. So 4 times, you're going to press the right arrow to create the middle piece, unclick, and you have your spaces ready to place your images into. So these are like placeholders. So each one of your images can come into these places. You will need to go back now and plan on your paper, on paper actually, by folding a piece of A4 or A3 paper exactly where you want, where you need to have each of your designs and which orientation the design is going to be, because some of these images will need to be flipped to one side or the other, which is not a hard job. It's not difficult to do at all in InDesign. But each of your illustrations will need to be placed in a certain order so that when it gets folded up and into a little booklet, it sits in the right place. So we obviously have pages in a different arrangement. So go back to your piece of paper, fold it up, snip the piece between here and here, right along that actual gutter line. This is called a gutter. In between here, and then fold it up and pull out the middle 2 sections here to create the little booklet. So once you've done that on an actual piece of paper, you'll see how the arrangement is. Okay, guys, so basically that's all you need to do. I'm going to make another video that shows you how to do one with 2 pages so that you can staple them together in the middle. Okay, so we'll stop the video now.